Hi there, I'm Carlos, I'm the Accidental Chef, and welcome to Lafayette's Concierge. It's our new show that we interview people who are into the food scene here in Lafayette and around Acadiana. So today our special guest is Miss Molly Richard from the Lafayette Horse Farm. I got all this wrong, all that's changing, so that's why we're here. You know, Molly, we have 3 questions for you. Who are you? What do you do? And why should I care?
Okay.
So we've got some time. So tell us who you are.
Okay. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm honored to be here. My name is Molly Richard. I manage the Lafayette Farmers and Artisans Market at the Horse Farm.
Okay.
It's a farmers market in the middle of Lafayette on the Horse Farm property, which used to be owned by UL and is being transitioned from city land into a private park right now. And so the farmers market is the first program happening at the park, and we're out there every Saturday from 8 to noon. On third Saturdays we have an extra hour, so we're open from 8 to 1. You can enjoy lunch from one of the food trucks or one of our mini vendors. And we also have an art market on the third Saturday of every month. So you get an extra hour to shop for art as well.
So that's from noon to 1.
Noon to 1.
That's the extra hour.
Right. Correct.
It's normally 8 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Correct.
12 p.m. Okay, let me get this straight.
Okay.
Because I want to get it straight. Is it the Horse Farm, or is it Lafayette Central Park, or is it Mid-City Park? What's the name?
Well, the organization, the nonprofit organization that is overseeing the development of Evie and her crew, right? Evie and Dave, who are going to oversee the development of the property.
Correct.
Their organization is titled Lafayette Central Park.
Okay.
The property itself is officially referred to as Lafayette Central Park right now, but that doesn't mean that is necessarily going to be the name. And then the Horse Farm is kind of just the name that everybody knows that area as. So it used to be where the police stables were for the police horses, and that's where it kind of got the name Horse Farm, even though it was actually a dairy farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has it been with the university?
How long was it with the university?
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure, but they used to have their horticulture and agriculture students actually lived out there in the house that used to be there.
Oh, okay.
And they used the property for a while, and then it was sold or in a land swap with the city, so the city owns the property right now.
Right.
Until it's transferred over to Lafayette Central Park officially.
Right, and they gave UL another park.
Right.
That the city had over by the end of St. Julian.
Right.
Excuse me. Okay, Molly. Did you go to UL?
I did not go to UL.
Okay, where did you go?
I went to the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg.
Oh, okay. Cool. My daughter is finishing at Belhaven.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Jackson.
Another fine Mississippi institution. That's good.
Yeah.
How did you choose that?
I really don't know. I think whenever I was finishing up high school, I still didn't know what I wanted to study, and just like UL, Southern Miss has plenty of options, and I did want to kind of branch out and leave home for a little bit, so Mississippi was close enough but far enough, and I knew whenever I figured out what I want to study, they would have it. So.
And what did you study?
I studied kind of a jumble of different things. I majored in world religion.
Okay.
And I minored in nonprofit studies and human rights and Spanish.
Okay. All right. So why didn't you go to work for World Vision?
I don't know. I mean, I guess the human rights side of things kind of led me to think about natural resources differently and how different communities and economies function around natural resources. Okay. And somehow that looped me to agriculture and how food is produced. And
cool. I have one more question that is about you and has nothing about food, but like you said, it gets you back here. I'm a big believer in outliers, and so I think that there is something there on how you got to be here. Why did you come back?
Why did I come back? I had been gone for 5 years, and my 5th year that I was away, I was living in Montana where winter was long and cold and dark, and it was a beautiful place. I loved Montana, but the whole time that I was there, all I could think about was like what was happening in Lafayette, and like just thinking about Festival International. And then my sister got married and was going to have a baby, and so I wanted to be back for those exciting, family things too.
Sweet. Do you know, I read recently, or was told about the Cajuns. Do you know 85% of them either never leave or are returned? And the reason is when they were in Acadiana, the community recaptured the surf. When the tide would go out, the whole community would go out and build a dike and push the surf back. And they kept doing that. So when the tide was out, it was all hands on deck. Everyone in the community was out there building the dike. So that great sense of community got into that DNA. So that sense of family and community, they say that's how that got in with why Cajuns are so ready to come back or never leave. So I thought that was really interesting.
That is interesting.
The reason I asked you, I have four kids, and two of them went to university, not in Lafayette, and they have not returned.
Yeah.
And the two that did, who are graduates of UL, are here, and their business is doing quite well, and they're big parts of the community. So I think that's kind of interesting, because we have a lot of out-migration in Louisiana. Well, I'm grateful, let me say on behalf of everyone here, that you came back.
Oh, thanks.
So tell me why we needed another farmer's market in Lafayette.
Well, if you talk to any growers during harvest season, they need definitely more than one place to sell their produce to. So as many options as we can make available for people who are growing food in Acadiana, the better for the community and the better for our agricultural economy and for the people who are working hard to grow our food. And the horse farm just offered such a perfect location for a farmer's market that a lot of people in the city couldn't overlook. I mean, you have the oak trees, so you're just like in the shade of the oak trees on a Saturday morning or Wednesday evening in the summers. And it's just a great central location for anybody in Lafayette to come and celebrate the food and art community that we have here, and then take a picnic on the 100 acres that are open.
Sure.
And just enjoy the landscape. So kind of really the horse farm property itself lent perfectly to having a farmer's market, and that's kind of where it started.
I'm a big fan of the farmer's market and have been for years, especially the one down at the end of Foreman. They're all at the same time, though. Why?
I think Foreman's is actually earlier.
But I mean, it's all on Saturday.
Sure.
Or Tuesday.
Sure.
So wouldn't it be, if they wanted more opportunity, wouldn't a different time be better?
Perhaps. We have our Wednesday markets in the summer, just in June and July, and we're talking about having an autumn edition of our midweek markets as well. But a lot of people are loyal to the different farmers markets that they're used to.
Are they producers?
Sure. And people go to farmers markets for different reasons. If you want to sit in on a Cajun jam while you pick up your vegetables, then a lot of people will come to the horse farm. But there are so many reasons to go to the other markets as well. And any farmers market depends on a community of people supporting it and a vibrant food community. So, almost like the more farmers markets.
So can you tell us more about Lafayette's Food Circle, or Acadiana Food Circle? I'm not quite sure what it's called.
The Acadiana Food Circle?
Yes.
Sure. That's an organization, and I'm probably not the best person to speak to it. I haven't been to any of their meetings or anything like that, but
I've been to two, so you probably know more than me.
So yeah, I guess.
I saw you the last one, I think.
Okay, so there are two different kind of organizations going on right now. The Acadiana Food Circle is an organization that has existed in Lafayette for a while, and they create a directory of local food venues.
Okay.
So each year they update an online directory so people know where they can access local food.
It's locally grown food.
Locally grown food.
Not a restaurant.
Well, and restaurants that source locally grown food. So any restaurants that'll cook with.
Now, when you say local, is that less than 500 miles?
I actually don't know which definition of local they use.
Okay. Well, isn't that one of them?
Yeah. A lot of people say.
My first interface with it was in Portland, and that was kind of there.
500 miles is theirs.
Nothing more than 500 miles away.
Yeah. That's a common one.
Well, we have so much agriculture, and you know, if you plant it, it's going to grow here pretty much.
Yeah.
And we have a long growing season, sometimes 2 or 3 with some vegetables. So, now what's the other one?
The other group. There's also this other group that doesn't really have a name. I guess the Acadiana Food Alliance, or
Right.
that has been meeting formally and informally, just realizing that there are so many different aspects of the food scene in Lafayette that if we all come together and collaborate, we'll just be able to enhance all of the efforts that are already happening.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Why should people care that the food is grown locally?
There are a lot of different reasons. If you ask any chefs in town, they'll say it's quality. A lot of local food isn't grown for transport, like food from California or other parts of the country are grown for transport. So that means that all of the breeding that they do to get their crops a certain way, the main purpose is to get them from one place to the other over weeks of time without
You're not saying
rotting.
the food is engineered.
That or just bred naturally.
Oh, okay.
There are a million different ways to grow different breeds.
Okay.
But so yeah, it's whenever something's grown for transport, it's harder to grow it for taste. Where here, if you're picking it one day and selling it the next day, you can
Right.
really focus on flavor.
Sure. Like we feel about our seafood.
Sure.
Did it sleep in the Gulf last night? That's it. Okay. So that other group is called what? I forgot, you told me.
I don't know if it has an official name.
Okay. I know we're trying to
Informally-
figure out what our mission is.
Sure.
We're trying to decide what we're going to do about it. Now, you know, I'm a chef and I cook in people's homes. Tonight I'm doing dinner for 6 somewhere. I'm not sure. But a lot of people here have a disease. I call it a Cajun food disease. It's called nothing green by mouth.
Oh.
Because they don't eat any vegetables, or, you know, they think corn and rice are their side vegetables. Is there a growing kind of education component to what you do about helping people understand the value of fresh food and why they should eat their vegetables?
Yes, we we do invite chefs. You've come and cooked with
Right.
us before, to show people what to do with the vegetables that are grown here.
Okay.
So you made an eggplant dish last
Right.
night.
I ran into this woman who was there, the brown bag bakery lady.
Oh yeah, Miss Sheila.
Is that the person that's on your board you
She
told me?
is.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, she was just loving the eggplant. She wanted the recipe. She'd lost her card or whatever. So if you lost
found
your
you.
recipe, just go to my website, www.accidentalcooking.com, and we'll send you another one.
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so we have cooking classes regularly. Paul Io from E's Kitchen does a cooking class every 4th Saturday of
Yeah.
the month.
Okay.
And then different chefs will come. You've come. We've had
Right.
a few others come
Right.
and just kind of,
It's great fun.
yeah.
I love to cook. I love to demo. It's really gotten over the last, since we started this whole accidental chef cooking school. It's been really fun, and it's really we're working on a new project, which I will talk about later. But we are having more fun with that. So if you want me to come to your house and cook, I can do that. www.accidentalcooking.com. But so all right, we're just about finishing up here. Molly Richard, are you married?
I'm not married.
Are you dating?
I am not dating.
So, here it is. At the horse farm, Wednesdays are... You can come and see Molly.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, and she's lovely to look at. Did I tell you I had a son? There's not many.
Excellent. You did not. Can he cook? It's really.
No, he can't cook.
Oh.
He can hardly. But he's a marvelous artist. And that's it. He can't. But anyway, well, that's good. So, about the vendors, are they regular? Like if I went last week, would I go back this week and they'd be there?
That's a good question. We have an open market, so that means that we allow vendors to choose when they would like to come.
Right.
A lot of our vendors, we do have a large portion of our vendors who do come every single week, especially if it's their main income. You know, if you're farming, then you're going to be there every week. But, you know, people take vacations, people's kids graduate, you know, people have different jobs, and so we kind of leave it open to them to decide which
You
weeks they
said
come.
that there was a food truck at each event. Is there only one?
Well, on third Saturdays when we do the art market and we're open an extra hour, a lot of food trucks come and line up. It's kind of like their week to be there, I guess.
Okay.
But our market's always open to food trucks, so we usually do have 1, 2, or 3 food trucks
Now,
there.
the food truck, do they have to pay for a space like the vendor?
Yes.
And so, but on the Saturdays that are the other Saturdays, is it a rotation system at your invitation? How does that work?
No, we let them sign up like any other vendor would sign up.
Okay. So once you have one, then you're done. Doesn't matter if they're savory or sweet or.
Oh no, any of the food trucks are welcome to come any week.
Oh, so you can have as many as you want.
Right.
You just encourage them on the third.
Right.
Okay.
We kind of make it a big, fleet of food truck
Like a
day.
rally.
Sure.
Excuse me.
But yeah, they're welcome to come any Saturday that they don't have another spot they're already planning to be at.
All right, super. All right. Would it be fair to say that the vendors that are at the market have some sort of niche, like with their vegetables, or they herb gardeners, or they make dairy free or range free chicken, or do you have vendors that sell meats?
Yes, we have several vendors.
You have my friends from the Brookshire Market?
We have
Farm?
Inglewood sells pork and all of that, but and they're actually starting poultry next week, so we'll have chicken there.
Oh, all right.
And then we have Bayou Farm in Ville Platte. They do grass-fed beef, and
so that brings up another question. Would those people have to provide their own refrigeration, and do you have any kind of plugs or power for the vendors?
We have limited access to electricity, but we always make sure to accommodate anybody who needs
So when you rent a booth, you have to say you need electricity? And is that more or less? Or
It's not.
It's not. So you don't charge for the power?
Right.
Okay. All right. So if, let's say, I make gluten-free food, are there a lot of vendors that do things that are niche like that?
BB's is our main vendor that makes gluten-free food and vegan and sugar-free.
Everything is wonderful.
It is. And then Tailor Made Eats, she's the girl with the kale chips that a lot of people have heard of, I'm sure. So she makes healthy snacks that you wouldn't normally think of, like kale chips being something that tastes way better than potato chips and is way better for you, And then we've got juicers out there, Evolve and The Beat, so we have 2 juice booths that are there regularly.
And it's juice fresh right there?
One of them juices fresh right there, one of them juices the day before. So you can get it 2 different ways.
Okay, I have one question. Why did you make the pasta woman leave town?
Oh, why did she leave us? I know.
Where did she go?
She went to Colorado, and she's thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
But we do have a new pasta person.
Oh, great.
Bonvie Kitchen.
Envie?
Bonvie.
Bonvie. Qu'est-ce que c'est Bonvie? Where is that?
They are in, I want to say, Opelousas, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But if you remember A Change of Heart, which was a food truck that did healthy farm-to-table meals and frozen dinners, they have transitioned into Bonvie Kitchen.
Okay.
And Miss Tracy, who works with them, she gets produce from their, either from our vendors at the market or from their farm, and she'll make different raviolis and pastas. And
Yum.
I had a ricotta this week.
Just me, but I wouldn't want a healthy food truck. I'm thinking, roach coach, we used to call them. I want just, really greasy food and, I ate a new one today, Blanchard Barbecue. They're relatively new. I had not seen them before, but it was very good. I had a brisket salad.
Oh, yeah. They were at the market last night at Wednesday's market.
Oh, okay.
And they were smoking meat, and it was just the best smell you could imagine.
Awesome.
So I think
Awesome.
all of us
Then I couldn't figure out what that was on the back of the trailer. That was the smoker.
Right.
Okay, I got it. Awesome. So Molly, what do you want all our viewers, and you know there's thousands of viewers watching us and wondering, tell us the website for the market, artisan market.
Sure. The website is marketatthehorsefarm.com.
Okay. That's easy.
The best way to stay up to date on what we're doing every week is to follow us on Facebook.
Okay.
So Lafayette Farmers and Artisans Market at the Horse Farm is our name. It's long. And we also have a newsletter that you can sign up for from our website. So I send out a weekly newsletter with what kind of activities we're going to have.
Electronically. Okay.
E-newsletter with what kind of activities we'll have and featured products, and then different little blurbs and articles about different food or art things happening around town. So.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So before you go, tell us how they got you to do this.
How did they get me to do
job?
this? So, as I mentioned earlier, I was living in Montana, and I was working for a family agriculture group there. And I'd wanted to move home. I got in touch with Mark Hernandez, who owns Mark and Mary's City Farm with his wife, Mary. And I actually grew up next door to them. They lived in town whenever I was growing up. And so I called him and I was telling him, I'm looking to move back to town. Do you need any help on your farm or anything while I'm looking for a job? And he was like, Molly, I can't believe you just called. We've been looking for a farmer's market manager. We're trying to start this farmer's market and we haven't found a manager to do it. And I think you should apply. So I did, and it worked out. They actually started the market 2 months before I could get back. So it was a volunteer run for the first 2 months.
Okay.
And it's been great.
So did the city fund it? Is it city funded?
It actually funds itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, I heard you say the mayor president is on the board. Is that just that office has a seat on the board automatically?
Mm-hmm. He has, he's the president of our board.
Okay.
And actually, whenever the market started, the way it started was Mark Hernandez, who I was just talking about, kind of pitched the idea to Joey Durrell, because Joey had mentioned on TV once, like, it would be great to have a farmer's market out here. We could do this out here, just talking about the horse farm.
Right.
And Mark was like, if you're serious about that, we could get it going. And so.
Okay. We've got about 2 minutes left. Real quick, tell me, when they do the build out of the park, will there be permanent market stalls or whatever?
That's a great question. Since we are a rain or shine market, weather really does affect how the market is, and so to have a consistent weekly market for customers and for vendors, a covered pavilion is really necessary, but that really all depends on the generosity of the community and what they choose to fund at Lafayette Central Park. So
do you know how someone could get involved in funding Lafayette Central Park?
You could visit their website, LafayetteCentralPark.org, or keep an eye out for different fundraising activities that the market will be putting on specifically for fundraising for a pavilion soon. So, yeah.
So the last time I was at the market, Evie was there. Is she normally there, or someone from the planning component of the park there for each market?
Not every single market, but she does come pretty often to set up a booth just to answer people's questions or tell them about the park. So, not every market, but she comes often.
This is my last question.
Okay.
Parking.
Yes.
What should I enter off of Johnson, or should I enter out of South College Shopping Center?
You should enter off of Johnson at the gate farthest from the barn. So there are 2 gates on Johnson Street.
Okay.
There's one kind of closer to the Grand. That's the gate that you should enter.
That would be the southern gate.
The southern gate. Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thanks for your navigational.
That way it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It's still south.
Perfect. But yeah.
Awesome. Well, Molly, I really want to thank you for being here today on our premiere show of our guest show for the Accidental Chef and the Lafayette's Concierge. Our goal is to make sure that everyone knows everything that's going on in town if you don't know. And you can always contact us and find out what's going on, because we know what's going on. We know all about you, so just call and we'll tell you. So, Molly, I'm really glad. I'm anxious to go back out to the market and get some fresh produce and see all that good stuff. And again, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. Again, It's accidentalcooking.com, www.accidentalcooking.com, or you can email us at info@accidentalcooking.com. We love to interface with you and find out more about what you need or what you'd like to know about, so we can get informed guests on our show and find out what's going on in Lafayette and keep it going. www.accidentalcooking.com. Thank you, and you have a really great day.